Hey, this is Adam. So you have bought a wonderful, beautiful CLK. You're trying to open the trunk, and then you get this. So getting out whatever you have locked in the trunk is pretty easy, but just in case you don't know how to do it, I'm gonna show you. But in the second part of the video, I'm gonna show you how to fix that trunk for 10, 12 bucks. You don't have to buy a new actuator. It's a little labor intensive, but it saves like 100 bucks. So let's get to it. By the way, if this video helped you at all, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing. Also, if you feel like helping me out growing my channel, there will be an Amazon affiliate link down in the description with all the tools that you could, use to get this job done. Also, if you might want to do your weekly or monthly Amazon shopping through the link, it helps me out a lot. Thank you very much. Let's get to it. Here's the good news. Until you get the replacement part, you can still use your trunk. You just need your key. So all you need to access your trunk when the actuator is broken is the actual mechanical key. The way to get it is to get that clip, pull it apart, pull the key out. Easy as that. Slides right back in. Okay, so here's how you do it. Make sure before you start that you unlock your vehicle because the alarm will be loud. Just get the mechanical key. And now we're set. So for fixing the trunk, all you need is like a $10, $12 plastic little part. eBay link will be in the description. Okay, so this plastic bit will be a pain to take off. So first, before you do that, you gotta take off the trunk lining. The trunk lining will be put on and held into place by 9 plastic clips. 2 here, 2 here, and I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here's your 9th one. So we're gonna undo those. You'll probably wanna use one of these plastic clip remover tools. This is what they look like. Be mindful that the inside trim will be clipped into the emergency release right here. So this is just a clip action, push and pull. So now you can safely get rid of the trunk liner. So this little plastic cover will be a little painful to remove. It's held on by 2 Torx screws. I was lucky enough I could do it with a T15. I believe they might be an 18, but 20 was too big. It's essentially a good idea to have Torx screws if you're working on these cars because T10s, 15s, 20s, 30s, 35s, and 25s, they're very frequently used in a Mercedes. So once you've undone the 2 screws, you'll see this little plastic latch in here. It's gonna be tough to pry it out from the outside. So you wanna go around and you push it from up there with a flat head, and then it'll pop right out. You don't wanna break this. Okay, so these 2 are Torx T27s. You won't see it. T27s. You just quickly undo these 2, and then you have access to the actuator. Okay, so this is a trunk actuator that we're gonna replace a gear in. So we're gonna have to get rid of it. First step is to get this clip and just take it out. So I had to take off this part from the top of the actuator mechanism. It had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clips. You just need something like this to get the job done. Once it's off, here you can see that in there's a gear that's busted. So if I release the trunk, it still moves, everything moves, but then in there we got a broken gear. So this little electric motor is just held in place by a plastic clip, so you can just pull it right out. These are the clips that hold it in place. Okay, so the only thing you need to do is get rid of the pins from here and here. The easier part was this one. I just had to use a blade and just hack away at the plastic from here. So when the pin is in here, I could push the case inwards and then grab this part with a pair of pliers and just pull it out. Okay, so that's the first one. takes rid of the top gear. The bottom one though, you have this tiny little thing on the middle, which is a guide hole. You want to push the lower pin out through this one. Now I use an actual like sawing pin, didn't really work out and it bent like crazy. So what I did, I took a screw and I screwed it in halfway and pulled it out with pliers, just as far as the hole was wide enough so I could go in with one of these Allen wrenches, because this wouldn't bend. So this is the one I used to push out the other pin. Now, our offending little bit is this gear, which goes all the way down here to the bottom. Now I've replaced it with the one in the middle. You see it has those two little columns protruding from it. This one used to, not anymore. So basically that's the part that moves the little latch that opens your lock. So what we have to do is we're just going to push the lower pin back through here, pop in the top gear, push the pin back in, and then just put back the motor, put the plastic top on, and we're all set. Okay, so as it stands, all my gears are in order. I have the new one in. Now the plastic cover goes back onto the top of the lock. Okay, so we pulled it back up, back through this hole, right? And then we have two T27 Torx screws that hold it in place. Look at the grooving. So this hole is not perfect, which means this latch is probably towards the bottom of these holes. Okay, lock screwed back onto place. Next thing is to pop the carpet back on. Remember, before we put this back on, we need to reconnect the emergency release button. Now that one's working. All we gotta do is pop back in all the plastic screws. Okay, with the rivets back in place, there's one last thing we need to do. Put the cover back on, 2 Torx screws go over it, it's all set. Would you look at that? All screws back in place. Let's see what this does.